Oh, hello. Welcome to Gourmet, the channel where I cook my way through all the cookbooks I own and have never used. We are still working with Taste of Epcot, where we'll be making. Let's see if I remember. I've been saying this to myself so many times in a row. Mocequa, or a Brazilian fish stew. I don't. It's supposed to look like this, right? That's not really a fish stew. It's more so fish and like a coconut cream sauce. But I've never made anything like this, so let's get started. So this one's starting out with something that is not even part of the recipe, really. Um, we just need to make some rice. This dish is served over rice, so I'm just this just happens to be the rice that I have. Um, I don't even know where I bought it. It was probably just on sale somewhere. Um, but I just use rice to make like stir fries, so I'm never particular. But we're following the recipe for the rice. Um, we've got 3.5 cups of water in there, and I'm gonna put in 2 cups of rice, and we're just gonna like have that kind of cooking in the back till the rice is finished. So we've got the water for our rice starting to boil in the back on like a back burner. Once it boils, we're gonna pour in the rice, give it a stir, and then let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And I figured while that was all starting, we might as well get started on our dish. I've got a couple tablespoons of olive oil in here, heating up. I'm just going to lower it a little bit. And then our recipe calls for a pound of mild whitefish fillets. It suggests snapper, grouper, or mahi mahi. I got um, a little over a pound or almost 2 pounds of Atlantic cod. It was previously frozen. This is from Costco. I know that this is not the whitefish fillet. This is not a fish fillet, and this is not the whitefish that the recipe suggested. But I, I was gonna go to Publix and get it, and I was at Costco in between Publix runs, and I saw this and knew that I needed a white mild fish, and this was just as expensive as Publix, really. So I went ahead and got this. So not quite the right kind of fish, but we do our best. I'm going to get some scissors and cut this open. And basically, what we're going to do is we're going to cut this into fillets. And then once we have it in fillets, we are going to let them cook in the pan. The recipe says until almost all the way cooked through. And then we'll kind of add them in back at the end. So we'll see if this works. I've never done this. I don't ever buy fish from Costco either. So this is a new experience for me. Just kind of, I don't really know how it works. It looks like it's just 2 big pieces of fish. Oh, it's 1 big fish. Hey, that's how fun. Well, now we know for next time. I'm just making a mess. I don't have anything the right way. What do we want to say? Do we think that's kind of a chunky fillet? You know what? I don't care. Okay, and then we're gonna have part of this fish that just really cooks all the way and probably disintegrates into our dish. I'm gonna go ahead and just stick these guys down and get these guys going. Our rice water is boiling, so I'm gonna turn that down just a smidge. So our fish is done. I, you can tell by all of the extra fish in here that I definitely struggled with it. Um, that's not a recipe issue. That's definitely just a me not cooking fish a lot issue, and me being impatient because I'm hungry issue. So that's great. But we're gonna go ahead and just get ready for everything else. I'm gonna start bringing over. I went ahead and poured in some more olive oil. We need to get an onion, garlic, poblano pepper, and red bell pepper all ready. So I've got some of this stuff here. I did go ahead and just turn off my pan while I get everything ready. We need 1 small onion chopped. So this is my onion. I don't think it's small by any means. So I'm going to go ahead and just use half of it. And then we need to chop it. So I'm just going to, well, I've already messed this up. So it doesn't matter what I do from here on out. I'm just going to do this. Screw it. I don't know. I thought today was going fine. I'm having a fine day, and the fish really didn't go well. This onion isn't going well. I don't know what's wrong. Ugh. It's like I've never cooked a day in my life right now. Okay, so there's our onion. We need a third cup of red bell pepper. So I'm gonna. Oh, this one had babies. Wow, that one had a lot of babies. Look at that. Okay, let us go here and just get out these. Okay, perfect. Okay, we'll set those to the side real quick. Get that done. Ugh. Okay. And then these need to be diced as well, or chopped. Everything is chopped. But I'm taking chopped to mean diced, kind of. Like a thick dice is what I'm doing. Because I'm also kind of thinking, like, we are going to be cooking these for a little while. I mean, not as long as you think, but, like, this is going to go on. So I'm just trying to think of, like, what would fit on a like, fork well. And then what's not going to, like, cook away immediately. There we go. That's what it is. Okay, let's get that on there. Woo! Feels like we're getting back on track. Okay, we need a half cup of poblano. I'm going to cut off the top. I'm going to cut the insides out. Probably shouldn't be doing it this way, but whatever. Here's our poblano. We've wiped our cutting board. I don't know how spicy this is supposed to be, but I figure we probably don't want the seeds in there to make things extra spicy. I think you just like want to enjoy it, it's. But I could be wrong. I don't know if I've actually ever had this. I know it's no longer at Food and Wine, which is definitely where this cookbook is from. This is like the Epcot Food and Wine cookbook from years ago. Okay, our poblanos are in, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn my burner back on. I'm gonna actually get the right spoon for my dish. And then I'm going to pour in, we've got our minced garlic here, of course. You know how we are. We need 4 large garlic cloves. So let's call that 4. And now we're going to saute this over a medium heat until everything's softened. The book says about 3 minutes. That's probably what it will be. It's, I don't think it'll be that bad. I've got so much fish caked on here on accident. Oh, I really messed up the fish. I did not cook that well. Our vegetables are starting to get soft. We're going to go ahead and get ready for the next step. We need to chop 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro. So here's my cilantro. We really need right now a tablespoon of cilantro. So that's what I'm going to get ready. Let us go ahead. I bet that'll be close. Let's get these vegetables out. I'm going to turn my temperature down on the vegetables a little bit. That's about a tablespoon of cilantro. Ooh, let's just go ahead and throw those in there now. You know what I did do, though? And this has nothing to do with the cilantro. I cut that poblano pepper, and then I wiped my forehead, and now my forehead burns a little bit. So this is just a reminder to anybody if out there. Remember, when you're handling peppers that are spicy, wash your hands before you touch anything. Because now my forehead just kind of low-key burns. Okay, I'm going to call that there. I'm going to say that that's our tablespoon of cilantro. We need to add in a tablespoon, or how much tomato paste? A teaspoon of tomato paste. So this is the tomato paste I use. It's this Chinto brand. I've just always, that's a little more. I've always used it. It's the one that I like, and I like to get it in the tubes because I feel like I get more out of it and they last longer. There are some recipes though that I will get the can just because you're using so much. But I typically don't use a lot of tomato paste. And we're going to add in some salt. We're going to add in some pepper. And then we are going to add in an 1/8 teaspoon of paprika. So this is the paprika I have, just, it's your standard paprika. And then we're going to give this a nice stir. There we go. There's our tomato paste. Now we need in a cup of vegetable or fish stock. So I'm using this Swanson fish stock. I think you can find it everywhere. I was looking for, or this is vegetable, not fish. I was looking for fish stock, couldn't find it. The recipe also says like a clam juice, didn't see that either. So I'm just going in with some vegetable stock, and then we need to stir this together, which that looks like it's pretty much together. And we're going to add in a cup of coconut milk. This is the coconut milk I have. It's this Thai Kitchen brand. It's just a sweetened, condensed, or unsweetened coconut milk. Okay, I had to walk away to get my can opener because I forgot to do that. Now the question is, I know that there's more of a cup in here, but I don't really use coconut milk that much. So is it bad? We'll see. We'll be good. We'll try to pour in a cup. We don't want to do too much. Ew. Ew. Was I supposed to shake it? Well, the whole thing went in. I'm not gonna lie, I've never used coconut milk before. I don't know if that was right or wrong. uh, well, we're moving on. Can't go back now. What we're gonna do is, try not to get this everywhere, but we're simmering this for 10 minutes. So I'm gonna bump up the heat just a smidge. It's been 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and add 3 plum tomatoes, a 1/3 cup of canned hearts of palm that's been drained and diced, and then a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. So we already know we're using not fresh lemon juice. We're using squeeze bottle lemon juice. These are the hearts of palm. This Vigo brand is just what I saw at Publix. These are the hearts of palm. We need a 1/3 cup. I might. I bet 2 will do it, and then I'll have 2 for something else. Who knows what? But it'll be used in some other weird dish. It's just going to be added. Like, no one's business. You know what I should have done now that I think about it? Because these are supposed to be diced, and I did not dice them. So I'm just going to maybe continue to not dice some of these, but quarter some of them instead. Now, I will openly say Hearts of Palm is not something that I use ever. I know that this is more than a 1/3 cup. I get that. We're adding all of it in. We're just adding all of it in. There's our Hearts of Palm. I'm going to go ahead and get our tomatoes ready. We were specifically told to use plum tomatoes, and we are specifically told to make sure they are seeded. So I've got a little spoon here. I just cut these in half, and I'm assuming I can we're just going to scoop these out over the trash can. Our tomatoes are seedless, and we're just going to go ahead. I think they wanted you to remove the seeds because they didn't want all the extra tomato juice in there. Can't say that that's exactly why, but that's my guess. That was our tomatoes, which admittedly, what I learned is that you should quarter your tomatoes and not just have them, because I missed a bunch of seeds. I'm going to go ahead and add in a tablespoon of fresh lemon juice. So When do we think that that's a tablespoon? I think because we finished it that that's a tablespoon. And we're just gonna give this a stir. We are basically done. Uh, we're just gonna stir. I gotta say, it does smell really good. It smells better than I thought it would. I wasn't really sure what I was getting myself into. Like I said in the beginning, I've never made anything like this. Um, you know, I think the whole point of the channel is to try new things. And even if like maybe they don't sound the most exciting, like everything's worth a try. Every recipe is worth a try. So that's what I'm trying to do. So we've let this come together. Now it's time to just lay the fish in to let them finish cooking. What's left of the fish anyway. See, I'm not gonna lie. Like I had a hard time. I'm just adding all of this in like this. I'm just gonna. This is how it's gonna go. We've got maybe one good fillet out of this, and I'm not helping doing that. So I think maybe the Costco fish wasn't the way to go, even though I thought it was. Uh, that's all I can say about that. But we're gonna let this simmer for like a minute or so, and then I'm gonna get it plated. So the next time you see me, it's gonna be time to try this. Okay, so and just like that, we're finished. You can see my forehead still tingles a little bit, so I'm definitely gonna take a shower out of this to get all that poblano pepper off. um, but let's look at this guy. So here is our fish stew. You can see the rice, all the vegetables. Honestly, it looks good. But let's go ahead and give this bad boy a try. I'm gonna. It's also very hot. We just finished cooking it. Get a little fish, get a little poblano, kind of get all the vegetables. Okay, so I think that's a pretty solid bite, right? That was too hot to taste anything. Let's give this another try. That's not bad. Um, I can't say it's perfect, but it's actually pretty good. Um, I think I'm gonna give this one. Mm, I think I'm gonna do like a 7.5, maybe an 8. We'll round up to an 8 because the ingredients were super easy to find. Yes, I think I probably used like not the correct fish, and I could have done better with the fish, but I am trying not to like really count that into it. But all the vegetables, all the ingredients, super easy to find. Um, it was super easy to make. Yes, I had trouble with the fish, but once again, that's not on the recipe. That is on me. um, so yeah, easy to make, easy to get. I just think it could. I think the flavor could be stronger, and maybe if I let it sit longer, the flavor is gonna be better. Um, maybe that's what it is. I think there's a couple things that I'd like to do with it to make it a little bolder and stand out a little more. Um, let me try something real quick. Okay, so what I did was I added some more salt and pepper to it because I realized before we added the fish fillets back in, I was supposed to salt and pepper it again, and I totally forgot, and that helped. That made it better. So I think the 8 is deserved. Um, I think still I would like it maybe a little more like punchy, but I don't know if that's just kind of how the dish is, right? I've never had this before. I don't really have Brazilian food ever, so I don't know what it's supposed to taste like. But I do like it. It's just not my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Um, we'll leave it there. I could go on and on saying the same thing over and over, which in some videos I do. But I'm going to try to be better about this. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.